venga, venga, venga. Fernando López. Buen trabajo, Fernando.
All right, so we've done this a few times this year, but as we end 2024, it's always a time of reflection, right? Look back at the year. There's always year-end evaluation, right?
Right.
We also look forward to what's ahead. I think a lot of times in the sports world, we are always looking forward, right? Like I'm sure in your mind, you're looking at what's next, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's important to take a step back and look at what you've done, right? Which is hard. It's probably hard for you, right?
It's very hard.
So I basically got a list of the races that you've done this year, right? And we've had a couple talks before, some epic ones, Norseman, Ultraman. I think we talked about Kona. You know, 3 events that would be most people's, elite amateur or professional athletes is would be 3. Those would all be once in a lifetime events. But Fernando did 3 of them in 1 year. Impressive as it is, there's way more.
Yeah.
So without digging in too deep yet, let's start off by, if you had to pick your favorite race of 2024, which one do you think it would be, and why?
Yeah. So this is that's a great question. This is our 3rd chapter or 4th of discussing races. And,
Yes.
Without a doubt, I would say a Marathon des Sables is the most memorable, most significant, and more challenging than anything else I've done this year.
By far.
No, by far. I think next to that comes Norseman, which we'll talk about, which we did last time. But Marathon des Sables, the why is it's just special because of the atmosphere, because of the friendships you make, because of the journey that it takes to be prepared for such a thing, because of the logistics, because this is so many things, and that's the reason I put the Marathon des Sables. I think this is the most significant one this year, and perhaps ever. We'll see, because there is more to come.
Yeah. Incredible. You also did a video on the marathon.
Yes, I did the video. It's in YouTube, and
you should put the link in there. The link will be in the video.
That's like 5,000 viewers already, and a lot of thumbs up. And I think I told a pretty good story there of what it was, and but those memories continue to come through there.
Now, a lot of these races from 2024 are repeats, right?
Yeah.
You're going back to beat a time. You're going back because it's a qualification. A lot of these are races that you have to qualify for, right? And something's bringing you back. Why do you think you have we said 19, how many races? 19?
So I thought it was 20. Apparently it's 19. So I might do one now.
We have a couple of days. We have 4 days. Why do you think it's 19 epic races versus 2 or 3 epic races? I mean, why do you...
So the number
the volume.
Yeah, the number is insignificant to me. It's 19 because it's just 19. This year I went beyond in many ways. I think there are like 5 world championships, like a world championship
qualification,
everything.
Yeah.
And so you have to qualify to be there. So that's very significant.
Yeah.
And then the magnitude of some of these races, including Ultraman, which I almost forgot. Ultraman Arizona in February. That's a massive, complicated race, and very, difficult. So that might got second place actually. Uh, so I, like you said before, most people would just dream of one of these, and I was just so lucky to do so many of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not even like, so I would think personally, if I'm the guy watching this video and I was like, man, I don't know how I could train for all that. I don't know how I could prepare logistically, like you said. I don't know how I could get off work. I don't know how I could afford it. I don't know how I could get all the hotels and flights and rental cars and crew. Like, just that seems like such a massive ordeal. As impressive as completing them, how is that possible?
Yeah. Where do I start? Yes, all of that is super complicated. Andrea helped me with many of the logistics, the financials. I coach just to pay off some of these, so that's part of that. But my credit cards burn. Work-wise, in most cases, I worked until the very last day of the race. Many were local, but some were traveling. I end up taking actually, I end up looking back and see how many vacations I took, and I didn't take much, to be honest. The marathon de Sav is the only one I really take the week off. I had to, but the rest I didn't.
Work remote.
Worked remotely and worked in one of the races. In several of them, I was working until one particular was working until midnight the night before the race. So that then the training, we talked about this before. I got to a point where it's like I just oil the machine only.
Yeah.
I just do my thing every day. I'm very consistent, 2 hours a day, and then racing this much is the peak. Every race was the peak, right?
Yeah. So the other interesting part to me is the trips are incredible, right? Like we're the parts of the country, if we got a map and we kind of dotted out where you went, right? Incredible places, doing incredible things. But the real hook on all of it isn't always where you're going, it's what you're doing. You're testing yourself. Like, these events hurt. Like, you put yourself in an uncomfortable place.
Yes.
Physically, mentally, emotionally, right? You're challenging yourself. You're putting yourself out there. You're vulnerable to not finish. Spend all this money, go somewhere, not finish. You're going out there. Anybody's done an Ironman or even a marathon, at the end of it, it's not a pleasant place. You're in that pain cave, right? You are there. So what about, like, I'm sure somebody's gonna watch this video and be like, oh, why is he going out? He should be going to the beach. He should be going on a nice, easy hike, right? He should be going on restaurant tours. What is it? What's the drive to test yourself mentally, physically, emotionally? So it's such big events.
Yeah. Don't let Andrea to listen to this one because she asked for a different type of vacation. It's I guess it's the lifestyle. It's a lifestyle I decided to have, and I depend on others to be able to do that. With my wife, my kids, my friends. And why do it this way is to do the impossible, to go beyond. Many of the races were so close together. I ran the 100 miles, and then 5 days later I went to Ironman Texas, I think, and now at the end of the year, same thing. I ran the 100 miles again, kind of the same race actually, and then I went to New Zealand for the Ironman World Championship. So even I think about it. It's like why, but it just happened, and that's perhaps what I'm. I want to perhaps be different. Although I did some podiums, we can talk about it. I just perhaps looking for that different thing that not everybody does. So,
Right.
and that makes me happy. It makes me different, and it motivates me, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's interesting. I have the list here, and I think we have to do it credit by just kind of going over it. And I'm going to go quickly, but
okay,
everyone just
maybe we can get
screams.
1 or 2 words for each from me. You know?
Yeah. So like, yeah, if you can do a one, like an adjective or two on each one. So we'll start off January 6th. We're going to do the Brazos Bend 100-mile trail run.
Fast and furious.
Yeah. Fast and Furious. Yeah. Podium, your first overall on that one. That's impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know. 8 days later, we're going to do the Houston Marathon. We're going to run that in 3 flat.
Yeah. I bet a dinner to a friend of mine, and I won the dinner. He didn't pay yet, but yeah, he did 3:01. I did 3 exactly.
3 flat.
Yeah.
And that after 8 days after doing 100 miles.
Yeah, it hurt.
That hurts looking at it. Then we're going to go about a little less than a month later. We're going to do a mountain bike race. Get on the podium of that. Dirty Dozen. That's a 12-hour.
Yeah, it's a 12-hour. They cut it off because it started raining. I was first anyway, and they
12 hours continuous.
Yes, so I think we ended up doing 6 hours, something like that. And then I got 2 prizes there, one for the race itself, but then I won the hill.
Climb.
I did the climb faster than the other guys. And what I enjoy sometimes in those is that I'm not the youngest, and I beat the youngest guys. So,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah, that's good. All right, that's another ultra endurance, and then we're going to follow up. That was February 10th. Then we're going to go March 15, 16, 17.
Yeah.
A once in a lifetime Ultraman Arizona.
Yeah.
First on the podium, second man, 4th overall.
Yeah.
How would you describe that?
I ran super fast, faster than ever. The double marathon. Very hard race.
Hard, yeah. Had to dig deep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's go. So that was March, middle of March, early April.
Ironman Texas.
Ironman Texas 70.3. How many times have you done that?
13, 14. I've lost the count, but I'm one of the only ones that did it.
That's a 70.3.
Every year, yeah. And I finished well, no?
Third. Yeah. Qualified for the
qualified for World Championship.
In Topo.
And in Topo, which I did. And then Ironman Texas right away, 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later. Well,
same thing I do every year. So
But wait, we're going to back up. So Ironman Texas 70.3. You don't even know, right? So give me the description. That's short now. That's only 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah. So go do it. Yeah.
You don't even, just a training day.
That's a training day, yeah.
So in between that, you did the marathon.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Which was
between, yes, I did the half, the marathon, the sub.
And then the Ironman Texas.
Yes, that was
out of control.
Way too much, out of control. Back to back to back.
Just the travel alone. What describe the marathon to Sables? Just give me one word. Can you?
Memorable.
Memorable, yeah. I just on a personal note, when you came back from that, I saw you walking the dog. I came out and saw you, and you looked like you had changed, right? And I didn't know. I was like, man, maybe he's tired, or maybe, but something changed. It changed you a little bit. It did.
Yeah.
Like in a good way. Like something about that experience changed you. I don't know if you can put your finger on it.
It made me, is it more humble?
Yeah.
Even though it's one of the toughest races in the planet, but it made me more humble, and it made me realize how much I love life, and how much I love to be surrounded by other people as well, because that's what happened there. And last thing is you realize how much you have, because when you're there you have nothing. You have to pretty much survive, you know. So you realize, wow, I have too much, you know, like things that you don't really need. So
changed you.
It changes you. It changes your spirit.
For the better.
For the better. Definitely. Thank you for that note.
I told my wife, I said, I think that changed him in a good way. Like, and it's interesting that you have to, that experience going so, like, logistically, you got to watch the video. You have to get how epic it was, and how, you know, you're out in the middle of nowhere and you have nothing and everything. But amazing.
The sacrifices,
Yeah. So interesting. But follow that up with the Ironman Texas, which you've done every one that they've ever had there. Which how would you describe that? That's after
the struggle, because I just came from
yeah.
8 days of running through the desert. So of course
Yeah.
I was tired, but yeah, making it happen.
Yeah. And did you find like because they're the marathon is nothing. You're out there. It's hard. You're desolate. And then the Ironman is very everything. They're going to hand you everything you need. It's very
When you do marathon the sub, then an Ironman is like, this is easy. They have all this Coca-Cola there, and then you just have to run one marathon. So it's like, it's kind of easy. When you do it that race, you realize you start thinking about the one you just did, which is much longer. So it's like
the reference point. Yeah. And part of your success, like your ability to go back to back to back, is you've done this for years. The racing creates fitness. You super compensate on all of this. As long as you recover properly, your body can adapt and get stronger. Because we're only in April. I mean, we're April 27th. We just finished an Ironman on top of the 6 marathons, on top of the Ultraman, on top of the marathon, on top of the Brazos Bend 100. And it's only April 27th.
That's right.
Yeah.
Most people would just finish right there.
Yeah. So now when you're there, okay, you're April 27th. Are you check the box? I came back from the Ironman. I drove, got work on Monday morning. Are you already, what's next? What's next?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, what's next? Like I leave what I just did behind.
Right.
And I start training right away. Like, the 2 hours pretty much right away.
Yeah, if the Ironman's on Monday, I'm sorry, if the Ironman is on Sunday.
Yeah.
Are you working out Monday?
In most cases I leave one day off.
Okay. But Tuesday you're on the bike.
If it's an Ironman, if it's a half Ironman, nothing. If it's a full Ironman, one day off.
Back on the bike.
Tuesday I'm back on the bike. Yeah.
Incredible. Okay, so we're April 27th. Now we'll go a pretty long break, right? April 27th. Next race was until June.
Right.
So were you depressed?
Were
you off? Because you've gone boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I was ready for the next one. Yeah, I was like, okay,
So now you're just training.
I'm just training.
Kind of a mid-season break, probably not a bad thing.
Yeah. And I keep running with, my athletes. And, sometimes we go for 10 miles, 13 miles, 15 miles, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, keep going and going. Yeah.
So kind of a mid-season break, probably not bad.
Not that bad. Yeah.
For your mental, physically, emotional, all of that. So then we go into early June. We're going to do an Xterra back-to-back, June 1st, June 2nd. Xterra, and then a 21K run the next day.
Yeah, so that's another kind of crazy thing. So I go to the Xterra, it's the triathlon off-road, and I did very well. I think I did podium as well. And then next day, I go and I run the next race, which is 21K trail run, and I do very well as well.
Yeah.
And and I did that on 2 different races. So
podium on second place on both. And were people showing up at the 21K just to run it?
Just to run it. Most people do. Everybody does one or the other, right?
You go back to back.
Both, and they're like looking at me like, weren't you here yesterday? Yeah. Oh, what are you doing here? Like, okay, no, I'm just.
It looks like you did it again at the end of June.
At the end of June, there is another one in Magnolia. And then I did the same thing. Triathlon on Saturday, and then the run on Sunday. And I won that one, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
first overall in the 21K.
Yeah.
And you age grouped in the.
They're like people. So funny. Are you? I'm the cleanest guy. I don't take anything. So it's just not even the jets. That's what the other conversation, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. My nutrition plan. Boom.
Yeah.
It didn't really work.
Yeah, I wouldn't have you write a book on nutrition. I think you're an anomaly in a good way. You're blessed to be able to.
I have a video about the 100 miles as well. we call it the salami sandwich because I only had like a couple of salami sandwiches for the 100 miles.
It's incredible. Yeah. All right, we'll go back to one word here, one adjective.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we went back to back twice, Xterra, awesome. Then August 3rd, the one that intrigues me the most, we did a video on it already, Norseman.
Epic.
Black t-shirt.
Black t-shirt.
Badass.
I perhaps didn't give much credit to that race as I should because I tell you what, every time I put a black t-shirt, I go to Ironman World Championship or whatever, and people stop me and say, "Hey, if you don't that," and they're like, "Yeah, oh my God," So I
black t-shirt.
that's what everybody wants to do, that race.
Well, my favorite professional triathlete, Christian Blumenfeld, who is from Norway.
Yeah, the Norwegian.
Yeah, he's the Norwegian part of the Norwegian group, but that's his goal. Eventually do it.
Yeah. Well,
sit on a podcast.
Sure, because it's an amazing race.
All right, so then we go from there. Norseman, now loving these Xterra races. So this one, you go up to Maine. This looks like it's a World Championship 26K trail. Give me a description of that.
Yeah, so last year I won my age group. They sent me an invite, so I figured I could go for the weekend, do the race and come back, and that's exactly what I did. I went on a Friday, rented a car, drove all the way to Maine, did the race, came back on a Sunday, crazy schedule. And it's like,
is that on a ski mountain like Stowe?
Yes, it starts with the climb, like crazy climb. And in Houston, I don't have those mountains, so I really struggled at the beginning. But then, and then it was wet, and it was a mess. I did okay in the race, and it was just I just wanted to do it,
Yeah.
And I did it.
Another World Championship.
Yeah, another World Championship.
Again, some people would be chasing.
Yeah, and I was just invited for the next year. Is in Wales. They just sent me the invite last week, I think.
And that's for the trail
to compete for the World Championship. I qualify again.
So that followed up pretty quickly by going to Italy for the Xterra Triathlon World Championship. Yeah.
So this was another one of those I qualified last year. I put it aside. I wasn't going to go until I asked Andre, can I do this one? And what if I just... I lost my job and I wasn't going to go because of the financial. So, but my good friend is a pilot in United. He said, hey, I'll give you a couple of passes and a standby. So I took it and I went there. Same kind of thing, kind of crazy. I went. I arrived on a Thursday night.
Did you bring a bike?
Yes, I went on a Thursday night. No, sorry, I did not. I rented a bike, and that was part of the story. Long story short, the bike really sucked. It was super heavy. I did the race. I was kind of sick as well, and I didn't do very well. But I finished. It was muddy, wet, and I did it and came back as fast as I could.
All in Italy. Just a little weekend trip.
Yeah.
All right, then we follow up with a 70.3 Waco.
Yeah, that's another race I always do.
It's a big team event for you.
I take a couple of guys from my team, and it's one of those races I just go do it.
Yeah.
For the weekend, just go like that one. Do it back. Yeah.
The one I want to do the most, which again kind of gets dwarfed in all this to me, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a blip, small blip. Which is, and people go 10, 15 years trying to go. Kona,
I had reservations for a year already. Again, not having a job. I was just already looking for what to do next professionally. But so this race was in the mix, and it's epic. It's wonderful. You have to go, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Kona is Kona.
Give it one word.
Hot.
Yeah.
And humid.
Even from a Houstonian.
Oh, yes.
So you go there October 26th, Kona, hot, tough. Then we have a November 2nd. What's that, 2 weeks?
Yes.
That's a week. You're going to do the Austin Rattler 100K mountain bike race.
Yeah. I went to Austin Rattle to qualify for Leadville 100. Gotcha. I decided to do it with my friend Boris, good mountain biker, but we had 3 flats. And so he ended up giving up, and then I kept finishing. finish on time for the raffle but I didn't get the coin for Leadville, which I did 3 times. I just wanted to do one more time. So I put my name in the lottery already and see what happens. Yeah.
We're not even talking about that. Okay, then it doesn't stop. Now we have a second 100-mile trail run of 2024. Podium, first in your age group, 9th overall. This is December 7th.
Yeah, so it's a bit kind of weird. The reason I did it. The main reason I did it is I kind of calculated that it was going to take me. I already knew where I was going to work. I got a new job. And it took me 100 days from the day I left the other job to the new one. So I said, hey, I might do something significant and to commemorate. And I did this 100-mile, which I did at the beginning of the year. Now I did it again.
2 100-milers.
Yeah. And I did pretty good. I did that 20 hours, I think, and finished first on my age group. And then I
9th overall.
finished like 9th overall. And I just wanted to do it. And,
but again, you take the normal, probably the 8 dudes in front of you, or women, they probably spent the whole year training.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do.
Well, I did too, right? So I had 17 races on my
right,
but didn't train for 100 miles.
Yeah, it's a whole different animal.
Yeah.
And then your last race, another epic one, we kind of touched on a little bit, the Ironman World Championship, the 70.3 in New Zealand.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
I just came back. I got sick.
Yeah.
I lost the luggage with all my clothing. I had the bike, but not the clothing. So I went buy new clothes, and I was sick. Andrea got sick, and we couldn't recover. We both almost decided not to do it. Andrea was pushing me not to do it, and I ended up doing it because you know me. And I did it. Not the best time ever, but I finished in 5 hours 54 minutes.
Yeah.
And got it done. Came back as fast as I could because I was still sick. And and that happened like last week. The bike is right there, still in the
bag.
In the bag, yeah.
That's 19 races. I would say 10 of them or more are World Championship races. Others are qualifiers for World Championships.
Yeah.
So, have you ever thought, hey, what if I picked out 2 races only for the year? And I trained specifically for them. So I said, hey, I want to run an early season marathon. I want to run 2:45. And then I want to do a late season, maybe October Ironman. And I want to go, 9:15 on it. And instead of doing all of these races, just what does that say? Like,
that doesn't do anything for me. That's not my space. That's not what drives me. 2 races. I don't have the patience to wait 6 months or 3 months to go race again. I need to be on racing mode.
Yeah.
And and that's my personality, the way I think, the way I'm driven. And many of my friends, I say, why don't you prepare better for just one and do it? And
so a better result at one wouldn't be more rewarding than the experience of
not
others.
at all. No.
Right.
Maybe at some point I had to do that, but now I have a new job. I'm gonna scale down it. I'll do more local races, but I don't think that's my motivation.
Yeah, because this list is epic.
It's
epic. And I know we're going to have this as a video on YouTube, but we have to scroll through it. It has to be somewhere to be actually visually seen and put together because it is really impressive.
Yeah, I'll include some imagery and some videos for each of the races.
And so if I'm a triathlete, Ultraman, any kind of extreme endurance athlete, I think the first thing I would ask you about or want to know is what makes you so durable? How are you able to back a 100-miler a week later at an Ironman, or the 6 marathons in the desert come back and then do even a half Ironman, or where's the durability? What are you doing differently than the regular guy out there?
So what I do different, and we talked about this previously as well, is a consistent schedule. I train in a um, kind of medium to slow pace,
Like a zone 2, they call it.
Zone two, zone
Yeah,
three.
aerobic.
I don't go hard most of the time. I don't. Once in a while I do. And then the mindset. A lot of this is the mindset of sign up and get it done, no matter what. I
Yeah.
have no excuse. Don't put excuses for anything. You know, and many people put excuses. Oh, okay, sometimes it's an injury, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's, oh, I had this and that. You know, they start putting excuses. So I have no excuses whatsoever unless something comes along. So and that's pretty much is a basic concept of consistency, mindset, and also repetition. You know, so my muscles, my mindset is all trained for doing this again and again and again and again. And I'm lucky enough to recover quickly, right? I don't take any particular recovery products of any kind, and I only get some vitamins, vitamin B and C and D, and that's pretty much all I take. And the rest is just, you know, I think lastly is it's just that mindset of doing this because you love it,
Yeah.
not because you have to. I don't train because I have to. I do because I love to. I love to train. I love to go and race, and that makes it easier.
Yeah. I remember when we got COVID, the COVID years, and there were no races. You made your own races up. Yeah. What would you do if you weren't into this endurance space? What would be your hobby?
Yeah, well, before this was windsurfing. I also play soccer. When I windsurf, I didn't know I was also already in an endurance. For example, I go to the beach and my friends would go for 2 hours. I go for 6 hours.
Yeah.
And you know, I stay longer than most, and I did more than most. So if I didn't have this, I don't know, man. That's a good question. I like the mountains. Let's say I recently got injured in one knee. I hope I recover, but you know, also almost crying, literally, really. And Andrea was saying, "What would you do if something happens?" I don't know. I'll go and walk through the mountains, or I'll do something that keeps me at this level of engagement. You know, it's about the engagement. It's about the journey. It's not about just racing for the sake of doing it, or for the credit, or for the glory, or for, you know what I mean. So and eventually influence more and more people, which is what I'm doing with these videos and podcasts. You know, I recently talked in the mob, which is also giving a story about yourself. And anyway, I'm trying to get to that point where, you know, perhaps I slow down on the racing side, but then I pass the torch.
Yeah. And there's a lot to pass, and a lot of inspiration in this list and the journey, and then the perspective. You know, Fernando can do this. He can, work, have a family, do all that, and do all this. Then, hey, you should be able to go out there and, do the turkey trot, or you can do a sprint triathlon, and don't put the limits on yourself just because, right?
Yeah, I think that's very important message I want to pass on. It's not about doing 19, 20, whatever races. It's not about doing the longest, the hardest. It's about doing the things that will keep that balanced life, that keeps you out of stress, that will keep you motivated in life, that keeps you young, you know, and ultimately, living longer,
Yeah.
if I can live one more year happier. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
And
what it's all about.
And you've seen, and part of these events are the people you're around, right? Like-minded, people that love life, that want to challenge themselves, that are not scared to push themselves, because it's uncomfortable. We all know that, but there's reward through struggle, right? and you're around those types of people, and that's also sort of something that can keep bringing you back, you know.
Yeah, the friendships that you
Yeah.
made through this is amazing.
Yeah.
I just in New Zealand, I just met a guy that I met years ago in Australia in Ironman World Championship, and then another guy that came and said, "Oh, Fernando." I don't know, a guy I met. It's unbelievable the friendships you make and the people you get to know, and like you said, are have the same mindset or lifestyle, right?
And it's driven the same way. It's incredible. And I think you going about your business and just doing these races, checking the box, going back in your garage and stuff is cool. You can be kind of humble about it, but I also think it's nice to get that out there. And I like what you're doing, kind of showing others what's possible, showing others the rewards for it, right? And then being open and honest about some of the struggles with it too, right?
Yeah, it's not as simple as it seems.
Yeah.
A lot of implications, sacrifices you have to make to do what I do. Hopefully, the sacrifices balance out with the happy moments, the rewards, and so on. So and it does for me. That's
Oh, it definitely does. Yeah. You wouldn't keep doing it.
Yeah, of course.
I'm scared to ask the next question, which is, what does 2025 look like?
Well, there are at least 5 or 6 on the bucket list.
Do we want to tease them out there?
So, I will repeat Galveston and Ironman Texas and Waco, the usual suspects.
All
the locals, the Xterras and so on, the Houston Marathon. The ones that are not local, the 2 one of them is another dream for most, which is the Cape Epic mountain bike race. It's like the Tour de France.
We're going to do a podcast on that.
We're going to do a podcast on that one, and that's in March. And then in September, I do this extreme triathlon. I forgot what it is. It's close to Serbia.
It's the same realm of like Patagonia, Icon, Iceland.
Right. That's correct.
So it's in that same.
Let's see what's the name of it. So again, sometimes I don't remember the name of the races, but yeah, that's the plan. Maybe I add a few on the way. I don't schedule everything. It's called Black Lake. Black Lake
in Serbia.
Close to Serbia. And in Montenegro, that's where I forgot. It's a small country, Montenegro.
Yeah, for sure.
Here is the list. So I have 8 things on the list already. 8. Maybe Lady 100 again. So I put my name in the lottery. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So
would you? Yeah, I've asked you this before. Local sprint triathlons, short, it's a 400-meter swim, 13-mile bike, 5K run, right? Local, show up at 7 a.m., you're home at 11, 3, 4, 500 people, usually like in a subdivision. Is that something because you don't seem to have those on your schedule?
No, I did that before. This is a progression, right? So that's where most people start, and then you move to a marathon, then you move to a half Ironman, and then you move to a full Ironman, and then that's kind of the evolution of progress, and that's what I've done. Maybe I should go back and see.
Ever drop back? Kind of the grassroots level?
And I get to know people, get to advise more people.
Yeah, where the beginners are.
Yeah.
Where you can give back more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, on the give back side of things, I'm doing a few things with nonprofits.
Yeah.
Recently, I went to help some kids that are refugees, and we donated some bikes, and I helped them with a few things. I got 19, coincidentally, the same number of races, Ironman bags from all my races, and I give them to them. I have a little video. I'll put it.
Put that in this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was
that's good.
very rewarding. I
Yeah.
love to give back to our community, and I'm doing that as much as I can.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah. So 2024.
2024. Can you describe 2024 in one word or two words? It's a lot in there, but it's not only racing, it's life. It's give yourself a second on that one.
Yeah, look at what I think of the one word. This year, my dad passed away. I lost my job. I got a new one. I did all these races. Overall, an amazing year. An amazing, one of the best years I had in my life. My family members, my kids are all healthy and I guess the right word is I tend to say busy, but memorable.
Yeah,
Memorable.
deeper than busy. Yeah,
Yeah, memorable because this is I got a lot of memories out of this year.
Yeah,
A lot of good memories.
Yeah, and I know we're running up on it, but to me, can you, with so many races, can you reflect and absorb the monumentalness of each one as you go, or is it too finish go? You know, if I did Kona, right? I think I would be reflecting on it for weeks, months, maybe a year, right?
Yeah.
But you have or Norseman,
Yeah.
or 100-miler, or the marathon.
Yeah, I honestly I don't have time to reflect.
Yeah.
But I do as fast as I can right after the race, and then sometimes I go back doing this,
Yeah.
I can only do that with the most significant ones because I really don't have time for it. I
Yeah.
wish I do, and that might be one of the regrets I have is just go do it, finish,
Yeah.
go next, and never absorb and materialize and
Yeah.
recognize what I've done, and perhaps I don't even recognize that was massive achievements. And
Yeah.
I don't for real. Yeah.
And maybe documenting it maybe would help to have that to later on in life reflect back.
Yeah. But well, I'm trying to come back to a book that I started. That part of that is to reflect on all the races and maybe one by one. But at this point, the number is 200 plus.
Yeah.
So it's hard to reflect in all of them.
Yeah.
But maybe I do. I will group them in different ones, and the most epic, the most memorable, the most difficult, etc. So, yeah.
Is there any challenge, any race that scares you now? Because
really,
no.
to be frank, I mean,
like this Cape Epic is
no,
I've done some research on it. It's gnarly.
Yeah.
Right? It's a stage race.
Yes.
Day after day after day through some of the toughest terrain.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, I know it sounds arrogant, but no, I mean, it's done for me. That's the way, and that's one thing I did.
You've already crossed that finish line?
I already crossed the finish line. So.
But you have to cross the finish line with your partner.
Yes, I had no doubt we'll do that. And, that's a bit, again, I'm not saying that thinking is going to be easy, though.
Yeah.
I think I know it's going to be easy, but I already finished. That's my mindset. That's the way I want to do it.
Yeah. That's a strong mindset. You need to bottle that up.
Yeah.
Put that with your nutrition plan, and you could probably sell those two, because those two are those are powerful in this world of endurance, and and I think another important piece, just kind of observing you is, yes, this is about events, bikes, podiums, PRs, but it's more. Yeah. Right. It's more.
It's much more than that.
It's much more than that.
Yeah. It's the whole experience, the journey, the logistics, the sacrifices, the family. It's just a lot of different pieces to it that all together make it. extraordinary
Yeah.
and meaningful and
Yeah.
motivation for me and for the way I live. I live more than one life, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you live the fullest of
Yes,
the one life, and you want to bring people along for the ride.
yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of your next goal. Bring more with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's a wrap. 2024.
Love it.
Love
Thank
it.
you, man.
You're welcome.
It's amazing.
That was good.
All right. Let's have a look at the medals.
Yeah.
Right here, the 20 prizes with Brazil, the Houston Marathon, and all the races we mentioned, the Ultraman Arizona, the Ironman Texas, Ironman, the fantastic marathon, the South I mentioned, the Exterras, the Norseman, and everything else up to the end. And that's it. That's what we were able to accomplish this year. And so that's a wrap.
It's a wrap.